Too many of you out here begging for love, for attention, for respect. You're running behind people who don't even see your worth. Let me tell you something, when you truly know who you are, you won't have to chase a soul. They will be the ones afraid to lose you. You teach people how to treat you by how you treat yourself. If you don't see your worth, don't expect anyone else to. The way you carry yourself, the way you speak about yourself, the way you allow people to handle you, it all sends a message. Are you telling people you're priceless? Or are you acting like you're on clearance? Because the way you view yourself determines how others will view you. Self-respect is not about arrogance. It's about knowing what you will and won't tolerate. Some of you keep tolerating disrespect, keep allowing people to walk all over you, and keep saying it's okay when it's not okay. Every time you let something slide, you lower your value in their eyes. They stop fearing losing you because they see you don't even respect yourself enough to walk away. The moment you start treating yourself like royalty, people will either rise to meet your standard or they'll fade away. And let them. If someone walks away because you refuse to be disrespected, let them go. They weren't meant to stay anyway. The right ones will recognize your worth and make sure you know it. You can't be out here begging people to appreciate you. That's not how value works. Nobody walks into a high-end store and tells them to lower their prices. If they can't afford it, they move on. You need to treat yourself the same way. The right people will step up, the wrong ones will step out. People don't fear losing things that seem easy to replace. If you keep making yourself too available, too accommodating, too forgiving of bad behavior, you're teaching them that they can do whatever they want and you'll still be there. That's why they take you for granted. That's why they don't appreciate you. The day you decide you are enough, the day you realize you don't need their validation is the day everything changes. People will suddenly sit up and pay attention. They'll start treating you with respect. Why? Because they know you're not afraid to leave. They know you're not desperate. They know your value because you know your value. If you don't value yourself, don't expect anyone else to. You set the price. You decide what you're worth. And when you finally act like the prize, trust me, they'll fear losing you. Some of you are out here giving your heart, your time, and your energy to people who don't even deserve it. You're bending over backward for folks who wouldn't lift a finger for you. And the crazy part, you think if you just give more, they'll finally see your worth. Let me tell you something, if they don't appreciate what you already bring, giving more won't change that. Overgiving is a sign of insecurity. It's a sign that you don't believe you're enough as you are, so you keep proving yourself. You keep trying to earn love, respect, earn appreciation, but the truth is real love, real respect, and real appreciation are freely given. If you have to beg for it, it ain't real. Start paying attention to who reciprocates your energy. If you're always calling first, always checking in, always making the plans, always fixing the problem, stop. See what happens when you don't reach out. Watch how quiet it gets. The right people will step up. The wrong ones will disappear. Either way, you get your answer. Ungrateful people will take until you have nothing left. Then they'll move on to someone else. They don't respect you because you made it too easy. They don't value you because you never required them to. They don't fear losing you because they assume you'll always be there. Let me tell you what happens when you stop overgiving. At first, they'll be confused. They'll wonder why you're pulling back. Then they'll get frustrated. They'll try to guilt trip you, manipulate you, make you feel like you're the bad guy. But if you stay strong, if you hold your ground, they'll have no choice but to realize they lost something valuable. The people who truly care about you will never take your kindness for granted. They will never let you feel like you're the only one trying. They will meet you halfway. But you'll never know who those people are if you keep overgiving to the wrong ones. Too many of you are talking too much. You're explaining yourself to people who don't deserve an explanation. You're begging people to see your worth. You're giving second, third, and fourth chances to people who don't even appreciate the first one. Let me tell you something. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is go silent. When you stop texting first, when you stop reaching out, when you stop chasing, you put the ball in their court. And guess what? If they care, they'll notice. If they don't, you just save yourself a lot of wasted time. Silence makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to think. It forces them to question. It forces them to wonder if they took you for granted. When you disappear, when you pull back, when you stop feeding them your energy, they have to sit with that loss. Weak people panic when they're ignored. They start trying to get your attention. They'll post things to make you jealous. They'll send little accidental messages. They'll try to bait you into a reaction. Don't fall for it. Stay quiet. Stay focused. Let them feel your absence. The thing about silence is that it exposes people's true feelings. If they care, they will reach out. If they don't, they won't. Either way, you get clarity. And clarity is powerful. It allows you to stop wasting time on people who were never really for you. Your presence should feel like a blessing. Your absence should feel like a loss. But that only happens when you stop making yourself too accessible. Let people earn your energy. Let them prove they value you. If they don't, walk away with your head held high. Silence is strength. Silence is power. And when you use it right, they will fear losing you more than they ever feared anything else. The reason so many people take you for granted is because they believe they can replace you. They think they can walk away, find someone else, and keep it moving without missing a beat. And you know why? Because you haven't shown them that your presence is a privilege. See, when you build a life so full, so rich, so powerful, people know they can't just swap you out like an old pair of shoes. They understand that losing you means losing something rare, something they won't find again. A lot of folks make the mistake of centering their entire world around other people. You sacrifice your dreams, your time, and your energy just to keep someone around. And in doing that, you make yourself too easy to replace. Why? Because if all you bring to the table is them, then what do you have when they leave? Nothing. That's why the key is to build life so strong, so independent, so full of value that when someone walks away, they know deep down they just lost something they'll never find again. People respect what stands on its own. If your happiness, your success, your peace, and your confidence come from within, that makes you irreplaceable. When you're constantly improving yourself, whether it's your mindset, your finances, your skills, your health, you become the kind of person people regret losing. The kind of person they look back on and think, man, am I messed up? But you don't do it for them, you do it for you. Because when you elevate yourself, you stop worrying about who stays and who leaves. You know that you are the prize. The worst thing you can do is sit around waiting for someone to realize your worth. That's not how this works. You don't beg for appreciation. You don't wait for someone to finally see what they have. You make it clear through your actions that you are unstoppable with or without them. When you're out here chasing your goals, leveling up and making moves, people take notice. They start to realize that losing you isn't just losing a person, it's losing an entire experience and energy, a light that they won't find elsewhere. When someone knows they can't replace you, they think twice before mistreating you. They hesitate before taking you for granted. because deep down they know they won't find another you. But that only happens when you commit to building yourself up, to creating a life so powerful, so fulfilling, so undeniable that your absence feels like a loss they can never recover from. The moment you show someone that you're afraid to lose them, you give them power over you. They start thinking they can do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and treat you however they want because they know you're too scared to leave. But let me tell you something, when you master the ability to walk away, you flip the script. You stop being the one who's afraid, and suddenly they are the ones who start fearing your absence. Walking away isn't a weakness, it's a strength. Weak people stay in situations that break them. Weak people hold on to relationships, friendships, and jobs that drain them. Weak people beg for love, attention, for respect that should be given freely. But strong people know when enough is enough. They know when their peace, their self-worth, and their happiness are worth more than staying where they're not valued. And once you adopt that mindset, trust me, people will start treating you differently. See, people only value what they think they can lose. If they know you'll always stick around no matter how they treat you, they won't respect you. But when they know you have no problem walking away from anything that doesn't serve you, they step up. They start choosing their words more carefully. They start appreciating your presence more. Not because you threaten them, not because you beg them to, but because they know you're not playing games. They know you don't tolerate nonsense. Walking away isn't about proving a point, it's about proving your worth to yourself. It's about showing yourself that you don't need to cling to people who don't value you. It's about understanding that you are a complete, whole, and valuable person with or without anyone else. And the more you practice walking away from situations that don't align with your peace and purpose, the more magnetic you become. People start seeing you differently because they realize you are not someone to be played with. The truth is, some people won't see your worth until you remove yourself. They won't appreciate your presence until they feel your absence. And that's fine, because the right people, the ones who genuinely respect and value, won't ever put you in a punch-a-coup where you have to question whether you should stay. They will make sure you know you're wanted, appreciated, and irreplaceable. And those who don't, you walk away from them without hesitation, without regret, and without looking back. Respect is not something you beg for, it's something you demand through your actions, your standards, and your mindset. The moment you allow someone to disrespect you without consequences, you teach them that it's okay to keep doing it. People will only treat you as well as you require them to. If you let them talk down to you, dismiss your feelings, or play with your time, they will. Not because they're bad people, but because you showed them you're willing to accept it. But when you make it clear that respect is the bare minimum, people either step up or step out. Some folks think love is enough. That if someone loves you, they'll naturally respect you. That's a lie. People can love you and still mistreat you. Love without respect is control. Love without respect is manipulation. If someone truly values you, they will respect your boundaries, your time, your energy, and your worth. They won't make you feel small, ignored, or unimportant. But the moment you let things slide, the little insults, the dismissive tone, the lack of consideration, you open the door for more disrespect. And once that door is open, it's hard to close. You don't have to yell, argue, or prove yourself to get respect. It's not about being loud, it's about being firm. It's about walking into a room and carrying yourself in a way that lets people know you will not tolerate anything less than decency. It's about setting clear boundaries and enforcing them without hesitation. When you respect yourself, others have no choice but to follow suit. And the ones who refuse, they don't deserve access to you in the first place. There will be people who test you, who push your limits to see how much they can get away with. Some will disrespect you subtly through jokes that aren't funny, through accidental offenses, and through small acts that chip away at your self-worth. That's where you need to draw the line. The first time someone disrespects you, you correct it. The second time, you check them harder. And if it happens the third time, you remove yourself completely. Because the longer you tolerate disrespect, the harder it is to undo. Respect is not a privilege, it's a requirement. If someone can't give you that, they don't deserve your time, your energy, or your presence. You are not desperate for anyone's approval. And you are not afraid to be alone if it means keeping your self-worth intact. The people who truly belong in your life will never make you question whether or not they respect you, because they will show it in their words, their actions, and their consistency. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Challenges will push you to your limits. And in those moments, you have two choices. You can let your emotions control you, or you can let your mindset guide you. Too many people live with weak hearts, always leading with feelings instead of logic. They let heartbreak break them, let setbacks define them, and let other people's opinions shape them. But when you build a strong mindset, you become unshakable. You learn to see pain as a lesson, rejection as redirection, and struggle as preparation for something greater. A weak heart makes you desperate for approval. It makes you chase people who don't care, hold on to situations that hurt you, and ignore the reality in front of you. A weak heart will have you crying over doors that were meant to close, begging for love that was never real, and doubting yourself when you should be standing tall. But a strong mindset, that changes everything. A strong mindset tells you, I'm bigger than this moment. A strong mindset says, I will not be broken by temporary pain. A strong mindset knows that whatever happens, you will rise above it. Emotions are real, and they deserve to be felt, but they should never control your decisions. When you operate with a strong mindset, you acknowledge your feelings, but you don't let them make you weak. You don't let disappointment stop your progress. You don't let loneliness make you settle for less. You don't let anger make you act in ways you'll regret. Because when your mindset is strong, you move with wisdom, not just emotion. You make choices that serve your future, not just your feelings in the moment. Building a strong mindset takes work. It takes discipline, self-awareness, and the willingness to let go of things that don't serve you. It means training yourself to respond instead of react. It means reminding yourself that setbacks are not stop signs. It means understanding that pain is temporary, but the lessons you take from it can last a lifetime. A strong mindset sees problems as challenges, not curses. It doesn't ask, why me? It asks, what can I learn from this? That shift in perspective is what separates the weak from the strong. The world doesn't reward the weak-hearted, it rewards those who refuse to break. It rewards those who get knocked down and get back up with even more determination. It rewards those who don't let fear, doubt, or emotions hold them hostage. You don't need to be the loudest person in the room. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody. You just need to train your mind to be stronger than your emotions, because when you control your mindset, you control your destiny. Too many people waste their time, energy, and love on folks who wouldn't even notice if they disappeared. They bend over backward, always available, always showing up, always putting in effort, only to be treated like an afterthought. And that's the problem right there. You keep making people a priority when to them you're just an option. You keep giving them all of you while they give you the bare minimum. You keep chasing people who don't care whether you stay or leave. But the day you stop, the day you pull back, that's the day you find out he values you. You have to understand this: people make time for what matters to them. No one is ever too busy for someone they truly appreciate. If they wanted to call, they would. If they wanted to show up, they would. If they wanted to make an effort, they would. But when someone only reaches out when they need something, when they only come around when it's convenient for them, that's not a relationship, that's a one-sided transaction. And you deserve better than that. You deserve to be surrounded by people who see your worth, not just when it benefits them, but all the time. The hardest truth to accept is that some people will never value you, no matter how much you do for them. They won't appreciate you until you stop showing up. They won't recognize your presence until you remove it. And that's why you have to stop overextending yourself for people who wouldn't do the same for you. You have to stop proving your worth to people who should have seen it from the start. You have to stop hoping they'll change when they've already shown you who they are. When you keep making them a priority, you're just teaching them that they don't have to do the same. Loyalty, love, and respect should never be one-sided. Relationships, whether friendships, family, or romantic, should be built on mutual effort. If you're always the one reaching out, always the one fixing things, always the one putting in the work, you have to ask yourself, are they even invested in you? Are they just keeping you around for convenience? Because people who truly care about you will never make you question where you stand. They will match your energy. They will reciprocate your effort. They will show up for you the same way you show up for them. The moment you stop prioritizing people who treat you like an option, your whole life changes. You stop chasing, you stop begging, you stop feeling drained. And you start attracting people who see your value. People who respect your time. People who are just as invested in you as you are in them. And when that happens, you'll look back and wonder why you ever wasted a single second on anyone who didn't. There is no better response to doubt, disrespect, or betrayal than success. When people count you out, when they laugh at your dreams, when they leave you in the dirt, thinking you'll never rise again, the best thing you can do is prove them wrong by winning. Not by arguing, not by begging for their validation, not by wasting your energy trying to change their minds. Let your results speak for you. Let your accomplishments be the loudest thing in the room. Let your growth be the only thing they remember about you. People love to underestimate you. They'll tell you that you're not good enough, that you'll never make it, that you're wasting your time. Some of them will leave you when you're at your lowest, thinking you'll never recover. But what they don't realize is that every time they doubt you, they're handing you fuel. They're giving you a reason to go harder. They're unknowingly pushing you toward becoming the best version of yourself. Nothing makes a person work harder than the desire to show the world that they are always worth believing in. Revenge isn't about getting even, it's about getting ahead. It's about proving to yourself that you were capable all along. It's about building a life so strong, so successful, so undeniable that the people who doubted you have no choice but to watch in silence. It's about walking into rooms they swore you'd never enter, making moves they never thought you could make, and achieving things they never imagined possible for you. The goal isn't to make them feel bad, it's to make yourself feel proud. The best revenge is living a life where their words don't matter anymore, where their absence doesn't hurt anymore, where their betrayal didn't break you, it built you. Because when you focus on success, you stop wasting time on people who tried to bring you down. You stop looking for closure. You stop waiting for apologies. You stop explaining yourself. Instead, you work, you grind, you build. And before you know it, the same people who doubted you are either silent or trying to weigh back into your life. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody, but you owe to yourself to become everything they said you couldn't be. You owe it to yourself to take every ounce of pain, every rejection, every disappointment, and turn it into power. Because the best feeling in the world is not watching them regret how they treated you. It's realizing that you no longer care, that you're too busy winning, that you built a life so incredible their opinions don't even exist in your world anymore. One of the hardest things to do in life is to let go of people you once cared about. But sometimes the people you love are the ones holding you back the most. You keep holding on, thinking they'll change, thinking they'll wake up one day and treat you right, thinking that history is a good enough reason to keep them in your life. But the truth is, some people were only meant to be part of your journey for a season, not a lifetime. And the longer you hold on, the more they drain you, the more they stunt your growth, the more they keep you from stepping into the person you're meant to be. The wrong people will have you questioning your worth. They'll make you feel like you're hard to love, like you're asking for too much, like you should be grateful for the bare minimum. They'll manipulate you into believing that they're all you have, that you won't find better, that walking away is a mistake. But deep down, you know the truth. You know that staying attached to someone who doesn't value you is only breaking you more. You know that holding on is doing more damage than letting go ever could. You know that the longer you stay, the more of yourself you lose. Letting go is not easy, but it is necessary. It means choosing your peace over chaos, your happiness over pain, your future over the past. It means understanding that not everyone is meant to go where you're going. It means recognizing that just because you love someone doesn't mean they're good for you. It means making the tough decision to walk away, not because you don't care, but because you care about yourself enough to stop settling for less than you deserve. It means no longer forcing connections that should have ended a long time ago. When you finally detach from the wrong people, you make space for the right ones. You start attracting relationships that pour into you instead of draining you. You start surrounding yourself with people who see your value, who respect your presence, who appreciate what you bring to the table. You start realizing that being alone is better than being surrounded by people who don't truly care. And most importantly, you start finding yourself again. You start remembering who you were before you let the wrong people convince you that you were less than you are. Your life is too valuable to waste it on the wrong company. The wrong people will distract you from your purpose, keep you stuck in cycles of pain, and make you forget the power you hold. But when you let go, when you finally release those attachments, you take back control. You start moving differently. You start growing, evolving, thriving. And one day you'll look back and realize that letting go was not a loss, it was the greatest gain you ever made. Your time, energy, and presence are valuable, but too many people give them away for free. You let people walk in and out of your life like it's a revolving door. And you keep showing up for folks who wouldn't take a step for you. That stops today. If someone wants to be in your life, they need to earn that spot. They need to prove that they deserve access to you. You are not an option. You are not an afterthought. You are not somebody's backup plan. If they don't appreciate your presence, then let them experience your absence. When people don't have to work for something, they take it for granted. It's human nature. That's why you see so many folks treating the most loyal, loving people like they're disposable, because they know that person will always be there. But when you make someone work for your time, when you establish boundaries, when you stop making yourself so easily available, they start realizing your value. They start understanding that you are not someone who can be picked up and put down when it's convenient. They either meet your standards or they lose access. This isn't about playing games, it's about self-respect. It's about making sure that you're not the only one putting in effort. It's about making sure that people recognize what you bring to the table and don't just take advantage of your kindness. When you start holding people to a higher standard, you'll notice some will step up and some will step away. And that's exactly what you want. Because the ones who leave were never meant to stay. And the ones who stay will prove that they belong in your life. You've got to stop chasing people who wouldn't even walk for you. You've got to stop overextending yourself for folks who wouldn't lift a finger for you. Real relationships, whether friendships, family, or love, are built on mutual effort. If you're always the one initiating, always the one checking in, always the one making plans, then you're dealing with people who don't value you the way you value them. And the sooner you recognize that, the sooner you can start redirecting your energy toward people who do. The moment you start making people work for your presence is the moment you shift the power dynamic in your life. You are no longer begging for attention, waiting for people to choose you, or settling for one-sided relationships. Instead, you become the person who decides who gets access to your time and energy. And when people see that you're not desperate for their approval, that you know your worth, and that you won't tolerate anything less than reciprocity, they will either rise to the occasion or remove themselves from your life. Either way, you win. When you meet the right people, they'll do whatever it takes to keep you around. They'll show you through their actions, not just their words, that you matter to them. The right ones will never take you for granted and never risk losing you because they understand your value. They won't play games with you or keep you guessing. They won't treat you like an option or make you question whether you're important. No, they'll prove to you day in and day out that you are a priority in their lives. They know that losing you is not an option. The wrong ones, on the other hand, will never think twice about taking you for granted. They'll disappear when it's convenient, only to reappear when they need something from you. They'll show you just enough to keep you invested, but never enough to make you feel secure. They'll always leave you in a state of uncertainty, making you wonder if you mean anything to them. They won't make the effort to keep you around because to them, you're just someone to pass the time with. But the right ones, they're the ones who will fight for you without hesitation. The right people will be there not because they have to be, but because they want to be. They won't put you through emotional roller coasters or leave you questioning your worth. They'll respect your boundaries, acknowledge your needs, and never make you feel like you're doing too much by asking for respect and loyalty. They understand that relationships require work, and they're willing to put in that work to make sure you feel valued. They know that losing you would be a mistake they'll never make because they can see the amazing person you are and don't want to risk losing that. If you're in a relationship where you constantly have to fight for attention, for respect, for love, then you're not dealing with the right ones. The right ones don't play games with your heart. They don't waste your time. They make you feel secure because they're not afraid of losing you. They know your worth. And if for some reason they ever sense that they might lose you, They'll step up, they'll make adjustments. And they'll show up in ways that make you feel seen and heard. That's how you know you're with someone who truly values you. When you find the right ones, you'll never have to wonder where you stand. They'll consistently prove that you are someone they're not willing to risk losing. They'll be there through the highs and lows, standing beside you, not because they have to, but because they choose to. They'll love you with the kind of consistency that reminds you why you never have to settle for anything less. Because when you're dealing with the right ones, losing you is never an option. They'll work every day to make sure that never happens.